So, the big question is this: how are pitching coaches like us, who aren't lazy and driven by our ego, who actually care about getting every player better, how do we coach in a way that lets us break free from the status quo, see things differently, and impact each one of our players for the better, all while changing the landscape of this game? That is the question, and this podcast will give you the answers. My name is Andy Powers, and welcome to the Pitching Secrets Podcast.
Hey, what's up, guys? It's Andy here, and it is, Saturday, May 8th, maybe, May 9th. And I am over here at the new facility for the Texas Pitching Institute and DBAT of West El Paso, and we're just almost getting ready to get open here. But I wanted to shoot this quick message because right now I'm over here working. I'm actually putting up a plyo ball wall, which I'm sure you're familiar with. To throw the weighted balls, sand balls in there, and medicine balls and stuff. And so I'm constructing it. My dad and I are constructing it and putting it together. And so I'm in here and we're putting the frame together right now, and I've got it to where I'm nailing it. I'm nailing all the our boards together to put the frame together. Anyways, got nails and sitting there driving them in with a hammer and doing fine. And been doing it for a little while, and my forearm is just gassed right now. I mean, it is tired. And so I started to notice that while I was hammering, that when I was starting off, when I was fresh, I was hitting the top of the nail. I was hitting it square. I mean, just every time I swung it, full contact, right on, dead center. Here we go. As my forearm got tired, I started to have a lot of mishits, and I started to hit the sides of the nail. Sometimes I missed the nail completely, and just hit the wood. And it got to me thinking to a point that I've always said, and I want to convey this again right now. I've always said that fatigue is the number one precursor to an injury occurring, okay? When you start to get tired, you start to break down and lose coordination and muscle control, all right? And hitting this hammer just reemphasized that for me directly right now, and it's what I want to emphasize to you. So how does this translate to what we're doing in pitching? When you, as a pitching coach, one of the things that you've got to do is you've got to become more in tune with a lot of the fatigue factors that you need to see, the signals, the symptoms that a pitcher starts to demonstrate. He may tell you he's fine, but you need to start looking for these signs and symptoms to know if he's starting to fatigue. Because if he is, first off, he's going to start losing his ability to control his movements as well. And you're going to start seeing the command of the pitch start probably getting a lot more erratic. He's going to lose command of the strike zone. That would be one thing right there that you could start to look for. Okay, he's been good all game, and then all of a sudden he starts to lose the command of the strike zone. That's an indicator. But not only that, but he's starting to break down physically, which means that he's at increasing his risk of an injury. And you don't want to see that happen, obviously, and neither does he. Now, just because Johnny usually goes, and every time he goes out to the game, he's good for 5 innings, doesn't mean today he will be. Could be a whole lot of factors contributing that you don't know about. Could be extra hot today. Could be extra humid. He may not have had a great night's sleep. He may have had, had a little sickness from his dinner last night. Who knows the factors? But just because you know what he normally does doesn't mean that that's what he will do today. That's good or bad, by the way. Okay, it's kind of like my buddy Alan Jaeger talks about listening to your arm. What I'm talking about here is that, he normally goes 5. If he gets to the 5th inning and he's still going strong, maybe you want to throw him back out there and see and push him, to 6 or 7, if he can do it. At the other hand, if he normally goes 5 and you get to the 3rd inning and he's already laboring, you need to take that into account. Some of the other factors or things or signals that you want to look for a pitcher if he's starting to get tired or break down. You want to see if he's sweating more than normal. You want to look at his body language. Is his shoulders kind of drooping forward? Is he kind of sagging forward? Or are they, back and his head's up? Is he breathing heavier? Is he taking more time in between pitches? Rubbing up the ball. Those would be a few things that you could start to look for on top of, the loss of command of the strike zone, loss of command or feel for pitches. He starts to show not discomfort, but discomfort for sure. But he starts to show more disapproval if he doesn't get a pitch that he was looking for. Earlier in the game, he made a pitch, his borderline didn't get the call, and he's fine. But now he's in the fourth, fifth inning, makes a similar pitch. Now he's starting to react to it a little bit more. That could be a sign also that he's mentally or physically starting to break down or fatigue. Again, unless you have a really good relationship with a guy who you trust, he trusts you, and they can be honest with each other, which is always what you want to strive for, chances are he's going to sit there when you ask him, hey, how you feeling? You feeling good? He's going to sit there and go, yeah, I'm good. But in reality, he's not. All right. And that's where you've got to step in. You've got to be the adult. You've got to be the leader, and you got to be the decision maker. And you've got to make the call on whether, how much more he has left in him by your estimation. And every guy is going to be different. But it was just funny. It was interesting that when I'm sitting there building out this frame and my forearm is just getting blown up after driving nail after nail after nail, how bad my my accuracy started to get with hitting the nail on the head and having all these mishits. And I just thought that was really something that was interesting that translates directly into what we do. And this is just a hammer with, basically your arm, your forearm. Think about the entire body moving into into trying to, perfectly time a pitch to where you can release it and let it go. So that is the challenge that we all face. But if you start to get better and really pay attention to that stuff, not only are you going to keep your team in a lot more games, and you're going to keep your pitchers on more of a successful track than having a lot of failures, but you're also going to keep them healthy. And that's going to be obviously, or should be, very important for you as well. So anyways, I hope that little story, little tidbit has been helpful for you. As always, I appreciate you. And if there's anything I can do, let me know. Until the next one, I will talk to you later. See ya.
I hope you enjoyed this episode of the Pitching Secrets Podcast. If you want to learn more secrets to enhancing your pitching coach abilities and add to your playbooks, all while breaking free from the current status quo of today's coaching, then I want you to join me in my movement to becoming a pitching boss. To start, I'd like to give you a free 3-day masterclass for pitching coaches. In this masterclass, we will take a deep dive together on arm care, creating your daily routine, and developing your pitching staff rotation. Go to bullpensecrets.com/masterclass and sign up to get started today.